Wagwan Generals, welcome back to another episode of the Shift Gear Podcast. You probably clicked on this thinking that you're going to see some festival lead right out the gate. Unfortunately, you are not. We clickbaited the hell out of you. There's no festival lead coming on this channel today. No, I'm just playing. He'll come on later. We had some scheduling issues where I have to go soon and he is in delayed travel or some sort.
Yeah, he's coming back from Seville. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. But we have to.
So
I mean, we appreciate. Yeah, we appreciate his time. So it's like, all right, we're gonna work with his schedule. So I'll be interviewing him. Actually, in a couple of days from when we're recording this. But you guys will see that in the back half of this episode. But we thought, you can't have Shift Gear without some Aneil and Kieran, especially some just random banter and nonsense. So we'll be doing the intro, and maybe Aneil and I'll go over some Champions League, and then the rest of the episode, the bulk, which is the actual important stuff, will be Festival Lead. So we'll timestamp it. So if you don't care about us, you just want to watch Festival Lead, you can jump ahead. So
I'd leave too.
Yeah. All right, bye guys.
Yeah, see you later. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think you're recording with him because I'm in the office that day on Wednesday. I forgot about that. Yeah, so it just didn't work out for us to both be there, but you'll have all the festival lead your mind could handle as soon as they touch down. It's pretty cool that he did so well with it. So I am actually excited. Normally I never watch Back Shift Gear even when I'm not on it, but I will be watching Back Shift Gear this week because I want to see what he has to say about festival lead. I feel like it'll be very interesting. All right, so we can hop into the Champions League. I didn't watch any of it. I was trying to watch Seville because I'm in a complete deck crisis right now.
For Orlando?
Complete deck crisis. Full transparency because I no longer care. I want to play Gardevoir because it's leaving, right? I'm like, let's play one more hurrah, right? But I find that it's a little inconsistent for me. It's just not hitting for me right now. And everybody's telling me, yo, play Grim. You're good at it. You do this, you do that. I'm like, yeah, I could play Grim, but dude, I'd rather watch grass die than play Grim. It's so boring, I find now. So I'm trying to fight my demons to not play Grim. But yeah, I'm in a bit of a crisis. So
yeah, I mean, this is
any input, any thoughts? What should I play?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where do you want to play a deck before it leaves? That's actually something I consider for the metagame for these last tournaments. I remember last year was Vancouver. The year before that, I forget what the last tournament was, but I remember normally the answer is people don't actually normally play their decks for the last hurrah. It's negligible in the meta. So I don't know. It's just a vibe thing for you. If you like Guardy that much, I mean, it's funny. I used to love Gardevoir a couple years ago, but now I don't care. So I'll probably just play. I like Grim or Monkey because those are the ones I like. So
that's a good show.
Or Dango's the other one. Dango's leaving too. I'm like, oh, should I play Dango? Because I do like that deck, but I'm like, I don't care that much.
Yeah, Gardevoir is completely different than what it was, man. I was thinking about that the other day too because I'm going through that end of format postmortem where I'm thinking about all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, if I wanted to make a Gardevoir deck, what's my favorite era to play Gardevoir in? And I think it's the same one that you like, the reversal era.
Yeah, so I love that era so much.
Yeah, it's really difficult to play that deck. And now I find that Gardevoir is very it's not draw based at all. I think it's definitely there's a lot of skill in it, but you need a little bit more to go your way because you don't have refinement and all that other stuff. So that's the part I've been struggling with recently. It's just dude, I don't know, I feel like I'm playing okay and the results just won't come when I need them to. So and there's a lot of dark decks, man. Everything's a dark deck. So it's kind of exhausting, and I don't know, man. It's my birthday on Friday, so I wanted to kind of just enjoy the weekend and just just chill out because I'm not spending it with my friends and family for the first time basically ever. So I'm going there to have fun and enjoy it. So I even took the Monday off work, which I never do. So
wow.
I was yeah. So I said, yo, I want to have fun. And is Grimmsnarl fun to me? No, but is winning fun to me? Yes. So
Grimmsnarl's fun, man. What are you saying?
You like it? I don't like it anymore.
Frostlass is one of my favorite cards and strategies, I feel like. I find it super interesting.
I love Monkey Lass. Maybe that's what I should be playing.
Yeah, maybe just rip Monkey Lass. So
yeah, could be the play, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found that maybe I just made Grim too much of my job or my identity the last little while. And because I wrote so much on it and I've talked about it so much that it just feels like it's really boring to me now. And I think it's in the greatest spot ever, too. I think the deck is so strong right now. We'll see.
No, for sure.
Lots to think about.
But yeah, definitely lots to think about. And maybe you guys let us know. Are you just going to run back your favorite deck one more time this weekend if you're going to Orlando or Querétaro? Or are you just going to play what you think is best? So, yeah. That was last year I played Lugia. I mean, I feel like I played Lugia long after I should have, just because I was all right, I need to keep playing this till it's gone. But this year it's I don't feel a particular attachment to any one thing. And, Grim it got second in Champions League, which we'll go over shortly. So, apparently it's still good. post rotation, so you can still play if you want. So, did you watch any of the Blue Jays games on the weekend, Aneil? I watched a couple of them. Some good games.
Every inning of every game, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Got the Rockies in town this year tonight. I actually think we might start the season like 9-0 because we have Athletics, Rockies, Marlins or something. Like it's like White Sox. It's like completely Mickey Mouse. So if our pitching stays strong, we might actually start 9-0. I don't think any team's ever done that in the history of MLB just because the baseball's so like fluctuation.
I'm sure someone has.
I don't think anyone has. You can check.
What's the record for most wins to start an MLB season? I'm gonna guess like 15.
You think so?
Yeah. Okay, it's 13 games by the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays.
All right. Well, I guess I was wrong.
But Aneil, if you go back to 1884, the St. Louis Maroons started 20-0.
Nice. I'm sure competition was fierce in 1884. It was back when the dentists were playing baseball as their part-timer. If they had dentists back then, maybe it was just like caveman teeth. I don't actually know what happened in 1884. I know a couple guys I could ask, though. A couple guys who've been around. We can ask like our boy Dean Nazem. That's when he was born, like 1855 or something. Same with Sam Leggett. We could ask him. There's a lot of unks in the community we could ask. Pramwat would be a good one. Who else was an uncle, low-key? I can't think of any other old mans.
I don't know. That we know personally?
Mike Natto, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Or Fouché, I think you meant.
Yeah, we talked to Fouché. A lot of good candidates for this. So if any of you folks are listening, let me know how baseball was in 1884. We're genuinely curious what the competition level was like. I love making these old jokes to people who are like 2 months older than me too, like people who are also born in 1998, but they're born in like January. I'm like, all right, yo, uncle, bro, like I understand you're fossilizing a little bit, but let me know what's up with the history. But yeah, the Jays have been on fire, man. It's been fun to watch for sure, and I'm really looking forward to it. I was gonna go to the game tonight, but it's I don't know, $20 for standing room. I don't really want to stand. Like I'll just pay for a seat if anything, and the seats are a little bit more expensive. So I'm like,
Yeah. I like a good daytime game. I'm a big, daytime, like middle of the day, especially on a weekday. Like those are prime for me.
That's the best part about being fun employed with Pokemon, right? You can go and do that stuff.
Exactly.
That's sick.
So
work from Dome, and it's just you coaching Grimmsnarl from the 500s.
Exactly. I get the standing room area. I go up to like they have like the bar. I'm in the front with the laptop.
Honestly, a baseball game is like quiet enough sometimes you might actually be able to get away with it.
Record shift gear from the Sky Dome. That'd be funny.
That would be hot, actually. We should record. I don't know why we haven't done this. Is a good idea. We should record from the CN Tower.
That would be fun. I mean, we could like it's actually quiet up there, especially to go to the middle of the day. We could do that. Do a little edge walk like while we're doing.
Dude, that'd be lit. I dropped my computer off the side of the CN Tower.
Yeah, actually, I'm supposed to do edge walk this summer. My sister for Christmas got me edge walk tickets. So.
That's pretty cool. For anyone who's not from Toronto, it's when they put you on the edge of the CN Tower. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, like
it's
outside.
like the edge of the CN Tower, and you walk around it. It's like, it is crazy, but it's definitely something that I want to do as well. It's definitely on my list. I want to do the stair climb, the CN Tower stair climb.
Yeah, I've seen that. I know a couple of friends have done that. It seems interesting.
Yeah, so lots to do for sure.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm actually very scared of heights, but I don't know if I'll be that scared of it. I've gone skydiving before and that felt okay. But
I feel like if you skydived, you're good.
It's different though. I think I like it because you're strapped in, but if I'm at a cliff, for example, or if I'm someone's balcony at a condo, that kind of freaks me out a little bit. But if I'm or when I went skydiving, when you fly up in the air, the plane door is open. That was freaking me out. But once I got out of the plane, I'm like, oh, this isn't that scary. But then once we pulled the parachute, then that's scary.
Yeah. As soon as you're dropping, though, you're fine, right? You're feeling all right.
It's adrenaline.
It's like nerves before a big game. As soon as you touch the ice, you're good. It's just it's one of those ones. But yeah, no, definitely that'll be fun. Edgewalk will be good, man.
Yeah, and then last non-Pokemon thing, I went to the Raptors game yesterday, Neil. 52 Great points game. We won by 31-0 run at some point. I was a Ticketmaster click away from getting tickets to that game because they were $28 before. That's very good for Sunday night.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, I might just pull up. I was at my parents' house. So I was a little far from downtown. I was like, I don't know if I'll make it. So I hesitated, and I was kind of glad that I hesitated because I love watching my team win, but when it's about 50 and the game's not competitive, I'm like, I don't know, man. So I'm not too upset with my decision on that one.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. It is good vibes, but you are right. It's sometimes I'm like, all right, I want a competitive basketball game here. That game was over after the first quarter, so. You
got to see the GOAT Markelle Fultz play.
I did, man. He did not play that well. His jumper's even more broken in person.
He's an interesting one for sure. Like Philly over first overall pick, he was supposed to be like the guy, and he just never really panned out. And like people compare him to Anthony Bennett. That's crazy. That's an insane comparison.
Yeah, I mean, they both just or like net negatives. I mean, at least Markelle Fultz or at least Bennett, like the draft, like there wasn't like a pick they missed, but Philly like traded for number 1 and missed out on Tatum. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so
and
really
what's
bad.
interesting actually, Markelle Fultz is in. You know what year he's in? He's in year 9 of playing the NBA. You know what happens after year 9?
No.
Lifetime pension and benefits.
Oh, good for him, man.
Yeah, so he's trying to secure that bag. I bet you he disappears off the face of the earth if this Raptors thing doesn't pan out. He's gone, bro. He's just trying to secure that lifetime pension. I would too, bro. What the hell? 9 years in the NBA, you get lifetime benefits for your whole family. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
so,
that's worth it.
Yeah, they definitely take care
man.
of their people. Which
good union there.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, maybe we can jump over to the Champions League. It was in Osaka this weekend. There's a couple of North American people. I think I saw Rahul was playing. I think he went like 10-4 or something, from what I understand. I saw it on his Twitter or something. And honestly, I thought the results were pretty interesting. I think some pretty cool, varied decks in the top 8, especially the finals. I didn't get a chance to watch since I was pretty busy this weekend, but I went through all the lists. I was keeping up with it a little bit. So Alakazam won, which I think is pretty cool. That's a deck I think we've been talking about as like a deck it's on the cusp, I think, in our standard format, but rotation seems like it's gonna get buffed a lot. It is one of those decks I think you can kind of counter if you want. Like, if you literally just put in Articuno into your deck, and you have like a water energy, like you can probably beat it. But most decks aren't doing that, right? So this is the winning list. It's a bit small. I don't know how to make it bigger. I'm on Pokeka Book. If I zoom in, maybe there we go. It's a little blurry, but we can work with this. People know what the cards look like, so. Yeah, I mean, a pretty standard list. A couple things that kind of like stood out to me was there's a copy of Airy in this deck. And then there was like the 2 hammers, which I guess is pretty standard to get rid of those like rock fighting energies and he missed. So Neil, what do you think about Alakazam? Like, do you think it's S tier as we head into our new metagame after this week, or do you think it's probably in that like tier 2 still of decks, but can go on a run if it's not respected?
As someone who knows nothing about post-rotation Pokemon, like in theory, to me, and like this could be completely wrong, but in theory, this deck is broken. Like, genuinely broken. There's no more Iono. The only hand refresh is basically unfair stamp unless you're playing Judge or like that clown thing.
Harlequin?
And yeah, that thing. And I don't know. Like, in theory, this seems really, really good because Megas are branching out. They're becoming more popular. So this is really good into Megas. And then you also don't have active hand disrupt, which was the biggest problem for this deck going on until now. And this psychic energy, dude. This special.
Yeah, that card feels really good. I've tried a couple decks with that card. Really good. Yeah.
This deck has got to be legit. I think before we were like kind of flirting on it being legit. I think now it's got to be legit. Especially with Battle Cage. Like, you play 4 Battle Cage still. It doesn't rotate. Like, it just came out. You can survive against the Pulse of the World. And yeah, man. From my admittedly uneducated brain, this seems really, really good. And it won Champions League, so I guess it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a fair amount of post-rotation. I actually spent a lot of time this weekend just playing the decks with a lot of people I work with. We've already moved on to post-rotation, and whenever it's like unchecked, like there's no text for this, like you don't build your deck with Alakazam in mind, like Alakazam just like wrecks you. So it's gonna be in that spot in the format where I think a lot of decks if it gets really popular, I think you'll see a lot of decks like play Mist, or they'll play, if they're playing Lucario, you'll play the Special Energy or like Judge, or like some decks like even like Team Rocket might be popular because you can play Articuno. So I think it's gonna be one of those decks that'll be like really popular. It'll get countered for one tournament, people take the text out, then it like just smokes a tournament. So yeah, but I think like pure like power level, this deck is like insanely powerful. So
yeah, I'm excited to play some Zam after post-rotation. I will say as well, from the people that I have talked to that are playing post-rotation, they're all saying like, yo, this is miserable. Like, the game just sucks. So I am definitely enjoying my last weekend of non-post-rotation, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we could do an episode on this, like a post-mortem, is like, where would you rank like our current standard out of like the last maybe like 10 years? Like, I actually think you could argue it's probably like the best. So I also echo those sentiments. I don't think the game's like that bad. Like, post-rotation is still fun, but like, yes, it lacks a lot of depth. I think the current format has, for sure. A lot more trading, like prize trading back and forth, like big knockouts, less disruption. So
yeah, sounds kind of miserable. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, we're gonna enjoy what we have while we have it right now, I think. Ooh, this is cool.
Yeah, so second place, Grimithy. I mean, there is the next set Ninja Spinner for their Champions League, which we obviously won't have until NAIC. so that we are going to see the peaking red card in some of these decks. So yeah, I mean, like, it's just a normal Grim, like kind of similar to what we've been seeing now. Like, there's Petrol instead of Arvin, which is obviously a lot worse. But I mean, like, you'll see Petrol in a lot of the decks just to grab the unfair stamp, and then 2 Larry's Skill, like the card that discards your hand, and then you get the energy and the trainer.
I was gonna ask what that did, but I remember now.
And then you know, 4 Spike Myth. So I mean, it's basically just very similar to I think what we have now, just like without, you know, Devo and Evo in the deck. So I mean, obviously you and I both like playing Grim, so this is cool to see. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. Like, I don't know, my thought process, I don't think the Grim's like that good post rotation. I think Devo is like such a valuable tool. I think TM Evo is also like just getting to Frostlass right away and putting pressure. Like, now having to rely a bit more on Rare Candy. Arvin is another card this deck really loved. But I mean, I guess Frostlass is still a super, super powerful effect. I mean, a lot of these decks, and we'll get to them with the slot box decks, like the big basic decks, you know, Frostlass does go crazy against them, you know? And there's not a lot of respect for Retreat Lock either. So that one Eviltal in this deck, I'm sure this person like won a lot of games with it. So I don't know. Where do you think Grim? Are you hopeful for our friend Grim, like post rotation after seeing this?
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't really thought about it too much. I think losing Devo is so bad. I kind of immediately like wrote the deck off as soon as I saw we were losing Devo. It's the only deck I really thought about post rotation because I was writing a bit on it, and I was just thinking that like losing Devo is so bad. Losing Iono, on the contrary, though, is really good for us because that's the only reason you lose a lot of games. You just get Iono to nothing. So
Yeah.
I guess now we're getting stamped to nothing, but at least we're getting stamped a little bit earlier in the game where we can maybe work our way through and draw some prizes. But yeah, no, it seems all right. Like, Petrol's a logical substitution for Arvin, I think, and like, in some ways, Petrol's not that bad because like I can't tell you how many times I've had an Arvin for Secret Box to get a Spike Myth.
Yeah, you can
Or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right? Whereas now you can just go straight Petrol for Spike Myth, which is kind of cool. So maybe you got a little bit of legs, and like the deck doesn't change much fundamentally. It's just you can't really Devo anymore. That's the only problem.
No CC, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, top 4, some interesting decks. I mean, we had Crustle.
Bro, bun this deck, man. Get this out of here.
What tool is this? I forget what type this is walking.
The papaya berry? No, Payapa berry.
Let's see if I can.
I don't know.
Let me go on Limitless, type in berry, and see which ones there are. It's Payapa berry.
Let's go, baby.
Takes damage from opponent's psychic Pokemon. Takes 60 less damage. Okay, interesting.
Bro, how is it that I don't know what like Larry's skill does, but I knew Payapa berry as
I
soon
don't
as I
know,
saw
bro.
it? Like, it actually makes no sense. I'm pissed.
Yeah,
I'm always all the way going through school, people used to hate me for it because I have a photographic memory, so I would remember like the stupidest things, but I wouldn't remember like the most obvious like logical things. So to study before an exam, I literally just open my textbook and try and like absorb it via like osmosis and just like stare at it till it made sense. That was a great indication of that. Payapa berry is engraved in my brain apparently. But yeah, sorry, I totally cut you off. It looks a little bit different from the Crustle decks we have of present day.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw one get top 8 at the last one, right?
Yeah.
So I think it seems kind of similar. Like, there's still that Pheasantipity in there, which I'm guessing is the Hariyama counter. So the Payapa berry, what is that for? What's a psychic type that's a non-EX that we're trying to block? Maybe other monkeys attacking you or something? Like, I don't know.
Maybe Mind Bend. You're trying to play around Mind Bend, but you still have missed. So what do you need it for?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a psychic type we're not thinking of that you need to block.
Alakazam, but it doesn't even do damage.
Damage counters.
Yeah. Not Mewtwo.
I don't know.
There's got to be something, man. Yeah. I don't know. Payapa berry is doing numbers here.
Yeah, and speaking of Mewtwo, he got top 4 as well. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. I mean, you have the Clefairy and the Mewtwo, you know, for Dragapult, and then obviously, like, Mewtwo just knocks out Lucario, which is nice. I mean, Spidops is a very solid attacker as well, you know. I've actually tried this deck a decent amount. I personally find it really bricky. I find the Honchkrow deck is a lot smoother. But whenever I did get set up with this deck, it did feel pretty good. I just found it was a little hard to get set up a lot of the time. But, I mean, having double Articuno is nice. I do think your Alakazam matchup's really good. So I'm guessing this guy probably lost to Grim in top 4. But
this deck looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those decks I'd be excited to try out for sure.
Yeah. So there's this, and then there's also like the Honchkrow deck. They play very differently, obviously, but I think it's definitely super solid. And, you know, going down to top 8, Neil, is probably the coolest deck. We got Okidogi Barbaracle.
Sick.
With Ursaluna, Moltres, and Cornerstone.
Don't ask me what Barbaracle does. I only know Payapa berry.
attach an energy, a fighting energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon.
Okay, and then Okidogi's attach. Or no, sorry, for the dark you have 100
if the
more
dark
health.
you have 100 more health and your attacks do 100 more damage.
But Luminous rotates, correct?
Yeah, so they have Prism.
We have Prism now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can see. I mess with the vision. I mess with the vision.
That's just a single prize attacking deck, I think, you know? And then you have the Baby Blood Moon that if there's enough damage counters in play. Like you have that one monkey, so you have a small package that you can do a little extra damage. Cornerstone for some matchups, right? So, that was like an anti-meta deck.
I see no Colress in here.
Yeah, I guess you could Colress for the special energies, you're right.
Yeah, because as soon as you get a Barbaracle, you just need a special energy base every turn.
Yeah.
And you're living pretty good. I actually don't think this is that bad. And then you have that Tarragon guy. That thing's pretty good too.
Yeah, it's just that's just Lana's for fighting, right? So
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like this is cool, right? This is what we're saying. Like this format, there's room for creativity, like decks like this to do well, right? We had a Blaziken Dragapult in top 8, which is pretty cool. Shout out Blaziken. I saw our boy Austin Charles. He won the Full Grip 2K post rotation event also with Dragapult Blaziken.
Yeah.
So this might be like, I don't know if it's the best way to play Dragapult. I've played a lot of Dragapult. This build also feels a little clunkier to me than just playing like a straight line Gardevoir or Dragapult deck. But when you get set up, it feels like really, really nice, right? Like the Blaziken just ensures you always have an attacker. Like it lets you set up monkeys. So I mean, this deck is really fun. I think it's really good. I think you just need to have that consistency with it, and it's like super solid. So I mean, I don't have much else to say about it, but it's like cool.
I will definitely be trying this deck out. This looks like a lot of fun too. This reminds me so much of Straight Pult. It's crazy. I'm excited to definitely play this. I felt bad because Austin texted me about this like Full Grip whatever, and I legit didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, look, bro, I don't know what the hell that is. I thought he just like won a Elite Challenge and he was telling me.
Like, good job, sweetie.
Really yeah, exactly. It's like, good job, man. But apparently it was a big deal. And he's like, yo, the check's clear. And I'm like, all right, man, enjoy your like $50 gift card to your local game store. I didn't know he won $1,000. So like, shut up, bro.
Bad.
Sorry for not responding to your text. I guess it was a big deal. So yeah, good stuff, man. The chicken.
The fire chicken, the Fuego Pollo. Yeah. We had another Alakazam in top 8. Top 16, there was a Toxtricity box. This is a deck, I think, you know, Toxtricity never really took off. It has a very, very strong effect. And, like, you know, that's a lot of good dark Pokemon, so. I mean, Moongus. Or no, not Moongus. Brute Bonnet is, like, a really good single prize attacker, right? You know, it does damage based on how many damage counters are on you. So, you know, if you get, on them, right? Do you remember?
I don't actually know what that card does.
I think it's for
Pyapaberry.
It's for each on the. Yeah, it does 50 damage for each damage count. 50 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active list, right?
Wait, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so a double monkey, you one shot anything in the game.
Yeah.
You got that. I mean, you have the poison package. I mean, Absol is pretty good. There's actually not that many attackers in this deck. But I mean, you know, like with this new red card, like maybe you go like red card Absol, like Claw, like that's pretty good.
I mean, what's cool with this deck too is you can also go crazy sniping with Cruel Arrow.
Yeah,
you have that in your back pocket all the time.
That is true.
I was playing against Sneaker Talk playing this not long ago. Actually, I was actually like quite surprised at how powerful it was. Like, I actually think Toxtricity has a place in this meta. I don't know where, but clearly it's doing something. And like, even back then, this was like 2 formats ago when Toxtricity came out and he was playing it. I was like, this is like legitimately strong. Like, if you get them out fast, you can compete with like even the likes of like the broken decks of today, like Goldango, Gardevoir, all those decks, right? So definitely, I think there's a place for this card. It is cool. I will say, like, I was definitely taking a dump on rotation a little bit earlier, and like I was being told that it's awful, but I can see why it's not all terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of room for creativity. I mean, here we have like a straight Pult, which is kind of boring, but I mean, this is probably like the deck you're going to see the most. I don't know if you've been seeing the meta breakdown in the City Leagues, but I think like Dragapult's at like almost 30% of the meta. Straight Pult's leading the charge.
Nice.
We have lots of these, the slot box decks, where it's literally just like Ogerpons, Kangaskhan, like Clefairy. I mean, the decks are strong. Like, I've played a lot of there's like this like deck that focuses on like Clefairy, and you play like the special energy and the Pearl. But just, I mean, Wellspring's a good card. I mean, Clefairy is very good into the top decks in the meta. So I think we'll see a lot of decks like these as well. And then like you just pivot which Pokemon you play and like some of the cards depending on what the format's looking like. So I think getting proficient with like something like this could be a good strategy if you're someone who enjoys playing like Terra Box or just aggressive decks in general. I think this is definitely super solid.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, we have Zoroark. I mean, Zoroark struggles a little bit with Lucario, I think, but we're going through these results. There's actually we haven't hit Lucario yet, so I mean, having a draw engine I think is really good when Unfair Stamp is like the most popular ace spec. I mean, now that the red card is out, you know, like having trade super valuable. So there's an Ace of Rollers Premonition in here. There's like so many one-of supporters. There's not even a box. We're just drawing them. I mean, I guess we can trade. And like, you know what? Like without Iona, like you can just a massive hand. Like your opponent just gets to Unfair Stamp you once the whole game, right? So yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it's not that hard to like draw into them because you'll thin your deck so much and your hand will just be massive. So
fear I'm going to be like a really huge judge player when I start playing post rotation. I really don't like the idea of my opponent getting to do whatever they want to do all the time. And I think that maybe that's like part of like kind of like the beef people are having with post rotation. I've seen a lot of top players kind of complaining about it, and I think maybe there's a little bit of agency that gets lost from the game just because you don't have as much comeback potential and stuff like that. So maybe that's I'm starting to understand why people are having their gripes with this, I think.
Yeah, here's like a Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt's pretty good. I've tried it. Like you just play like the Trumpet and the Crispins to get the energy. I don't know what Pokemon this is, Aneil. Do you know what Pokemon this is? This water one?
Chenpao.
Is that
It gets
Chenpao?
rid of stadiums.
Oh, it's just a different art. Okay, I just wasn't... Wait.
I think that's the one that gets rid of stadiums.
I think that is Chenpao. That is Chenpao. It was just blurry on my screen. Yeah. Okay. I guess, yeah. That's not the normal art, right? Am I tripping?
No, that's a different art for sure.
Okay. It looks like there's a promo here. No, okay, never mind. It's not that one, but that is the one that gets rid of stadiums, so... Yeah, I mean, Raging Bolt, another beat stick. So we have another slot box here.
See, like that looks miserable to me. Like that Raging Bolt deck, I'm like, yo, like that looks so boring to play. But I guess that's what this is now. It's like everything's kind of just like a big basic deck, and you just go crazy unless you're playing Dragon Ball.
Well, I mean, we saw Grim, we have Alakazam. I think there's a mix, but like
right.
I agree. Like the big basic decks are not as exciting. So then let's see. So this last one is another Team Rockets deck, and then just a Kangaskhan EX. Interesting.
Oh yeah, Team Rocket's Kangaskhan.
Maybe that's a Cornerstone counter if I had to guess. But you have Mimikyu actually, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Champions League results. No Lucario is interesting. I mean, obviously this is only the top 16. But whenever I've gone and looked at the tier list, like wait, let me find the one what percent Dragapult is. 1 sec.
Yeah, you're good.
26%.
Yo, where's Garchomp, man? I didn't see a Garchomp top 16. That's disappointing.
Yeah, I mean Garchomp's definitely a solid deck. But it feels like Dragapult's the most popular, but we're seeing other stuff have success, right? Alakazam 1, we saw Grim. We're seeing Rockets in there, so maybe, like you're saying, the format's not like doomed before we play it. So, yeah, pretty interesting results from Champions League. I'm excited for I'm kind of excited to try these new decks a little bit more, but like I think both of you and I share the sentiment that we'd be okay if we just didn't rotate this year. But
yeah.
Let us know, guys. Are you excited for rotation or not? I don't know. I think mixed feelings. I think for a lot of people. I know a lot of people think our current format's gotten stale because I mean there hasn't been that many new decks, so I get it. But the game does feel super good right now. So
I really can't remember the last time that a rotation came around and most people were like, you know what? Yeah, we're good. Like, I actually don't remember because like normally people are like, yeah, I'm so tired. Get this out of here. Like, let's churn it through. This time, I feel like there's a lot, like we're losing a lot of big hitters, and like, yeah, okay, sure. I share the sentiment that like Gardevoir has been in format way too long. Charizard way too long. Goldango way too long. I love these cards, like, but they've been in format too long, and I agree with that. But it just feels like we're rotating into a place where the game is getting worse somehow, and you know what? Maybe this is the grand reset we need. Maybe the game has gotten too big. Maybe this is the grand reset we need. It's gonna take some people out of the game. That combined with Perfect Order being the most miserable set to open in recent memory, we might be good actually. You know, I've taken back all my criticism. I think rotation's great. We're good. Nice. We'll be able to think about it, man. We'll be able to register, not being on like high speed internet the moment it drops. We'll be able to like get tickets to like do things at the World Shop. We're gonna be able to buy product. Like this is blessed. Let's keep making the game worse. Pokemon, I want the game to be ass. You have 2 months.
I'll pass along that feedback for you, Neil.
Please pass it on. Thank you.
So nice. So yeah, anything else you want to talk about before Ethan hops on, talks to us about Festival Lead?
No, I think I am excited to watch this Festival Lead stuff. So I'm sure you guys are excited to watch this too. If you're in Orlando or where are you going this weekend?
Querétaro, Santiago de Querétaro.
Whatever the hell he said. If you're there or in Orlando. Come say hi to us. We'll be there kicking it. Hope everyone does well this weekend. Enjoy the last weekend of Ascended. But that's all I got. Now it's time for the real star of the show, Mr. Ethan Wilde.
Let's
All
hop
right.
over there.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, the festival lead legend, Mr. Ethan Wilde. Thank you for joining Shift Gear, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. You know, like we're chatting. I'm going to Mexico later today for a regional, which is exciting. The weather in Canada has been a little cold for spring, so excited to get away to some warm weather. But I'm more excited to be talking about some festival lead, which I hope you are as well.
yeah. Festival lead is a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah, so maybe we can kind of start there. So, I was looking at your season so far on Limitless, and like I was saying, I think you have probably one of the nicest Limitless pages I've seen of anyone. I think in the TCG right now, we've got first, second, pure aura. So yeah, I guess maybe lead up to why you're picking Festival Lead. Does having your Worlds invite locked in, kind of let you play something a little bit more fun? Or were you just like, oh, Festival Lead's really well positioned, I think it's a really good deck for this tournament?
Yeah, so I think it was a bit of both. I think having the World's Invite locked with the auto from Birmingham definitely gave me a bit more flexibility to try things out. But I do think it's pretty well positioned right now. I mean, Zoroark and Grimmsnarl both got like huge buffs from the recent set, and I mean, they already had favorable Dragapult and Gardevoir matchups before Ascended Heroes, right? So if they've got even better as decks, the odds of Dragapult and Gardevoir succeeding at the very top are lower. And the one thing they've got in common is the grass weakness.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Lead, being able to hit that is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's something we've been kind of like, or I've been talking about a lot on the Shift the past few weeks, is that like a lot of decks that kind of live in that tier 2, tier 3 range, like if the meta just changes, like they don't even need to get a new card. All of a sudden, like space opens up. So, okay, so you kind of mentioned the Dragapult and like the Guardy going down. So are those two matchups you'd say are unfavored for Festival Lead? I know I've played this deck a bit. I know Gardevoir is really hard. Do you feel that way about Dragapult as well? I know you have some ways to one-shot them with the Kieran and the Brave Bangle, and you put the Psyduck in here. So yeah, maybe let's talk there. Like, what are some of the matchups that you like to see and you don't like to see if you're playing Festival Lead?
Yeah, so I think by far the worst matchup is probably Dragapult. Like, their damage spread is horrendous for you. Like, at least with Gardevoir, you can kind of mitigate it with... It's only the monkeys that can do the damage spreading, but Dragapult inherently being able to, like, place the 6 counters every turn, have access to Dust Noir. If you don't get set up fast enough, all of your Applins and Goldines are below 60 HP, so you're just like never getting set up again. Gardevoir is like not great if they set up quick enough, but I do think it's definitely more manageable. In the early game, they're less likely to have like a 2-prizer like Latias in play or whatever. So if you do draw the cards that you need, like a Vitality Band with a full bench, allows you to KO Monkey Dories. You can take 2 easy knockouts on like turn 2 of the game if you're going first against Gardevoir. It just gets a little out of hand if they get like the Candy Guardy turn 2, they're making like a Monkey Dory turn 1, Monkey Dory turn 2. At that point, the game kind of starts slipping away. But aside from that, I think everything else in the meta is favored for Festival Lead. I mean, you've got a lot of grass weakness running around with Grimmsnarl, Zoroark, Charizard. All those decks kind of just can't take extra prizes against you either, with the exception of like maybe Grimmsnarl. Like they can build up a lot of counters with the Frostlats, but Picnic Basket can kind of counter that pretty hard. Shaman is good as well, like against both Zoroark and Grimmsnarl. Like Grimmsnarl doesn't get the extra 30 damage to maybe clear off 2 Pokemon in 1 turn, and Zoroark's only real win condition is Darmanitan. So Shaman puts in work against those two.
Yeah, no, it makes sense for sure. So yeah, so matchups, I agree, on paper seems really good. So like maybe let's talk a bit about like the deck construction then. So you added this 2/1 Sea King line. Like I see that sometimes in Festival Lead. What's really the purpose of the Sea King, since it doesn't hit big numbers? Is this just like an early game card? Is this just to knock out like the little Pokemon, like the Dreepies and the Ralts and stuff like that?
Yeah, so with Vitality Bound, you get like easy knockouts on 70 HP Pokemon, which are kind of like all over the setup decks at the moment. You know, you've got like Gimme Ghouls, Dreepies, Routes. There are so many, but it can hit bigger numbers. I mean, like the deck plays so many damage modifiers that like if you give this guy a max belt, like you can hit 220 and KO a Fez, you can KO Latias. You can even like Kieran on top of that, and then you're doing like 140 per attack, and you're like KOing a Zoroark when they're not expecting it. You can KO like Golden Goes pretty easily, you don't have to worry about the resistance there, and you get the KO on like Mega Mawile as well. So like it's pretty good. It's mainly there though for the basic Pokemon that has Festival Lead, so that like you can get going straight away the moment you find a Thwackey.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I guess a lot of times you do have to have that Diplet in the active, so I guess you just push the Goldeen. That makes sense. I guess the question I have for you is, like, let's say you're playing against one of those decks with, like, a basic Pokemon. Like, let's say, I don't know, there's, like, you're playing against Grim. They have Impidimp in the active, and they have, like, a Monkey on the bench. Are you using Vitality Man on the Sea King so you can hit twice, or is that a spot where maybe you're just like, okay, like, I'll just do 60 twice to an Impidimp? I guess
60 twice. Yeah, 60 twice to an Impidimp is probably fine there. I mean, if you're doing 70 and taking a clean knockout, it's like they're gonna promote the Monkey Dory. They're gonna want you to put the 70 damage there so that they can fling it back at your board. It's like you don't have to do the second attack, and it's probably not worth it. So sometimes the damage modifiers aren't necessary unless they kind of pretty much guarantee that you get to KO the Pokemon that you want.
Nice. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. I guess you save some of your damage modifiers too. And yeah, you've had the Rillaboom in the deck. This is a card I haven't seen often in Festival Leads. So is this in here for the drum beating, for this like kind of like disruption attack? Is it here just for Woodhammer, just so you have a clean way to knock out some of those big grass weak Pokemon? Or I guess maybe knock out some of the 210 HP Pokemon with like some of the damage mods?
Yeah, I think Woodhammer like barely ever gets used. You kind of have to telegraph for Woodhammer by attaching to a Thwackey, and a lot of the time you don't have like the time to like attach because like your attacker is getting KO'd every single turn. It's not hard to KO a Diplin or a Sea King. Like you're not getting extra attachments to this deck. But drum beating, having disruption, and also kind of like with the damage modifiers being able to answer Cornerstone Ogerpon cleanly is like the main reason for playing it.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah, I guess with that makes the Absol matchup, I'm sure, like a super easy deck to beat.
Yeah, like if they open an Absol, there's a free 3 prizes. If they've got a Kangaskhan and no Bravery Charm, the max belt clears that with Diplin. This guy easily answers the Cornerstones, and they can't even like back-to-back chain them because I'm not going to leave damage around. So it's like they can't respond KO with a Cornerstone into a Rillaboom. It's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah. That's like, it's always funny like seeing cards like this like doing well. Like well, I guess actually a lot of people play in Festival League now. Actually, where I look here, but you're the one who's taking it the farthest. Like I love this like Festival League here. We got some decent finishes, some 128s in here, and then bam, just second.
Yeah,
the king of the Festival Lead.
Yeah, I think the second highest placing Festival Lead at Seville is like one of my testing partners as well, and so it's like the same 60 list, which is pretty funny.
Let's see, what place did he get here? Oh, like top 128, nice. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, he had like 2 win innings for 64, I think. I think he was 8-2-1 at one point, and then like lost the last 2, which is a shame, but
yeah, that'd be crazy double Festival leading cut. So, whose idea was it to play the deck? His or yours?
It was mine. I kind of convinced him to not play Grimmsnarl for the event.
Yeah, let's have some fun. And like you said, I think the deck was actually like decently well positioned. Cool. And then you kind of mentioned to me that you think Dragapult is probably the worst matchup, but you still put the Psyduck in. Is there other matchups that has utility, or is it more one of those things where it's like I just want to have a chance against the Dragapult?
So it gives you a chance against Dragapult, but it's mainly to like make sure that Charizard has no real answer to you. Like specifically like Pidgeot Charizard can go pretty heavy on the Dusknoir line if it wants to, and they're pretty consistent at setting that up. And I think even though you're able to like one-shot Charizard, they don't necessarily have to use them. Like I think Charmeleon, the new one from Phantasmal Flames or whatever, has a 1 energy 40 damage attack, so they can just use Charmeleon to answer a Dipplin, which is not ideal. Seeking obviously like answers it in return, but like the fact that they don't have to put their Grass Weak Pokemon into play, you kind of need an answer to the Dusknoirs so that they can't just run away with it.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. So it's like has 2 use cases. Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned Shaman like for the matchups like Zora, Grim, and you have that basket in there too. Yeah, how does the Grim matchup or like maybe like Frostlass matchups play out? I think because you would think like intuitively it's like, well, all your Pokemon are low HP with the abilities, but the Dipplin does I think trade extremely well into those decks. So if I ask you maybe like the Grim, let's start with the Grim matchup. Like, do you think that matchup's favored? Is it close? Is the basket the card that tips it over the edge? What are your thoughts on that one?
I'd say the Grimmsnarl matchup is definitely favoured. The Frostlass kind of, while it does put damage on my board and I've got like low HP Pokemon all over the place, it kind of puts the entire Grim board down to 100 HP or less if they don't have a Grimmsnarl in play. Like, playing Grimmsnarl early into Festival Lead is probably like a big red flag. You don't want to give up 2 prizes really easily, so you probably have to pivot to like just a Frostlass Monkey sort of angle with it and forego the Grimmsnarls. But then you're kind of in a position where if you make 1 Frostlass, your Munkidori are now like down to 100 HP going into my turn, and it's pretty easy for me to then take 2 prizes each turn if I just find Stadium full bench Dipplin. I think as long as the Festival Lead player is not evolving things straight away, you kind of let the damage kind of rack up on your opponent's board, but it's harder to rack up on yours by just leaving your Pokemon unevolved unless necessary.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think you're probably just taking 2 prizes like regardless of what they do every turn. It's kind of what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like they kind of have to chain Badoo into you to stop using the picnic basket, but like a lot of the time it's pretty hard. Like some Grim lists are only playing 1 Badoo, some are playing 2. It's like it comes down to like their counts really. It's like if they're playing 2 Badoo and a Bravery Charm, maybe it gets a little trickier, but aside from that, it's like it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. And I guess the Frostlass Monkey deck is probably a similar approach. I guess they're just doing what you're saying, the same as what Grim should be doing. I mean, I guess they have Tinglu maybe. Yeah. I guess you have Shaman, so.
Yeah, so they're built to do what Grim has to do a little more consistently, because that's like their whole game plan into everything. So they do have like more copies of Bravery Charm, more copies of Badoo. So like your outs to Picnic Basket are lower, but if they try to Tinglu at any point, like Picnic Basket completely undoes that. So like they free you up for a turn. So as long as Tinglu isn't attacking to like win the game, it's kind of almost a throw from them to do, because they put the 30 on and then I just heal the 30 off, but also heal their board, and then they lose progress on like their Munkidori's. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe they can go Cornerstone, but then I guess you have the switching cards in the deck as well, actually. So or not Cornerstone, sorry. Yeah, Corner with no, it's not Corner. What's it called? Impound with Sudowoodo.
Impound.
Yeah. So yeah, that doesn't even work for them as a strategy either. So yeah, I think it's like a little counterintuitive, but I agree with you. Actually, you're probably favoring the Frostlass decks, which have been really picking up in play. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I feel like the cards in your list, I think, all make a lot of sense to me. I think one of the really nice things with, like, the Boom Boom Groove is, like, you can play one-of copies of a lot of these cards, and, like, they don't become that difficult to find. Like,
it's kind of similar to, like, Noctowl or Pidgeot decks, right? Like, if you're target searching cards every single turn, you can kind of get a little greedy, play a few tech cards, and you don't really get punished for it all that often.
Yeah. Did you ever find like prizing to be an issue in any of your games? Like you only have 1 Bengal, for example. I mean, I guess you had the Max Belt as the backup, like 1 Lana's, or do you think like the deck is like resilient enough to a couple bad prizes?
I think it's pretty resilient to a couple bad prizes. There were definitely like a couple of games where like some of the prizing mattered. I think prizing Lana, I think I prized Lana in one of my finals games, and it was like top left prize. I was never seeing it. Against Gardevoir, you kind of need it. So that game was a little chalked because of that. But yeah, I think most of the time, like, you're pretty resilient with prizing. It's like the obvious: don't prize the Psyduck into Dusknoir decks, and don't prize the Shaman into bench damage decks. But like, you're never playing two of those cards in any deck, so you kind of just roll with it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So I guess we have one more tournament coming up this weekend. Two regionals, both, or there's one in Mexico, one in America. So if someone wanted to play Festival Lead this weekend, would you say, should they touch the list? Should they change anything? Were there some tech cards maybe you consider that didn't make the list that people would consider? Or would you just say just run the 60?
I think the first thing I'd change is the Applin split.
Okay.
That was completely like not optimal at all. We were originally playing like a 3-3 like Diplin line going into the event, and so we had 3 of the tumbling attack Applin in the list, and then I think, which like it's a good attack. It's like coin flip KO Budu. It's like marginally better than the other one that just does flat 20 damage for 1. Because like 50% of the time you're KOing Budu, that's probably worth it. It's marginal, but it's there. And then like Friday night at like 10 p.m, we decided to cut a card, and we were like, what are we putting in? We want more consistency. We want a 4th Applin. Neither of us had any more of the tumbling attack Applins on us, so the spray fluid Applin ended up in the list, and it's like it's not good. The 20 never matters. You're just better off coin flipping for 30 with the other one. So if you're gonna play Festival Lead, like, change that immediately.
Okay. I mean, any other optimizations, or is that it? I mean, if that's the only thing you would change, I think you guys did a pretty good job building the deck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything. I mean, the card we cut Friday night was the Ace Nullifier Genesect. Card's cool, and it definitely like has uses to make Dragapult a little more like even as a matchup. Like, you can chase the energy in the early game. When you KO, like if you respond KO on their Dragapult with like Kieran Bangle, if you can like bench the Genesect that turn with a tool as well, you're like in a pretty good spot. Like, they might be able to make another Dragapult, but they can't get the Neo Upper attached to it, so they're probably not Phantom Diving. But like, it's pretty tricky to pull off and have all of those cards when they're like probably playing Iono every turn. And when it works, it's really good, and they kind of like fall apart after that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. But like you said, I guess like the 4th Applin is just like consistent across every single matchup, whereas that's like targeted and like it doesn't work every game. So, yeah, and I know you wrote a guide on the deck. It's updated for standard, I assume. So if anyone wants to play it this weekend, they can go check that out.
Yeah, the guide is fully for like pre-rotation right now. I like smashed it out as fast as I could so that people, if they wanted to play it to Orlando or the one in Mexico, like if they want to play it, they can do. It is there and fully fleshed out, and it'll be updated like in the next week or so with post-row matchups.
Nice. So yeah, I want to talk about post-rotation Festival League. Maybe before that, we could quickly go through your run. So, I mean, the first thing that stood out to you when I was going through this is you didn't hit a single Dragapult. So I'm sure you were very happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a nice thing. But it's like not hitting like the best deck in the format seems to be a thing that happens to me a lot. Like, I didn't pair a single Dragapult in Birmingham either. Yeah. I think Dragapult at major events is just a myth. If you just don't believe it exists, then you don't pair it. Like,
I mean, in Europe, you guys love Dragapult. I feel like every time I like the tournament, it seems like it's doing so well there. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how tournaments go sometimes, right? Like, you just don't hit the most popular deck, or like you just hit like a bunch of random stuff. Like, it's like, you know, you study for the test, then like just you don't hit the material you studied for. Is like kind of the analogy I always use.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you hit a few Gardevoirs. I mean, obviously you lost to Ted twice, but I mean, you beat one in the second round. But other than that, like I guess looking at your matchups, like would you say you were quite content with what you hit? Like otherwise, it seems like you had pretty smooth sailing with a lot of these matchups. Like you kind of built a deck to beat these
Yeah,
decks and you hit them.
yeah. I think aside from like hitting the couple of Gardevoirs, it's like the Gardevoirs are like fine. I beat the one in round 2 because they kind of didn't really know what Festival Lead was capable of, and it's one of those where like there's lots of like niche interactions that Festival Lead can take advantage of in the Gardevoir matchup that like I was able to use in that round, and then I think Ted in round 11 kind of like learnt them, and so like if you watch the stream, I think he chose to go first in our finals game because he learnt in Swiss that like I'm wanting to go first, and I don't think like anyone else across the entire weekend would choose to go first against anything. But kind of Ted made the adaptation in finals based on playing me in Swiss. So
Yeah, I guess that's one huge advantage you have when you play like a kind of off meta deck is like I assume none of your opponents practice against Festival Lead heading into this weekend. So
I mean, there was one. It's like Christian Fontenot. He's been like streaming Festival Lead like non-stop for the past like 2 ladders on live, and he's been like climbing to 1900 with it in like both ladder seasons. And so when I paired him, it was pretty funny. Like me and Christian are good mates. We're like sponsored by the same people, so like I was well aware that he was like the worst person for me to pair in the event for like knowing what the deck was capable of. But I think the Golden Go matchup is just so straightforward and easy that like it doesn't really matter.
yeah, that's funny. Like, and he's playing a Legacy Energy build. I guess that's kind of relevant, but like you said, like I think you just trade so well against them. Like they're a 2-prize deck, you're a 1-prize deck.
The Legacy Energy definitely skews it a little, but they still eventually have to put a 2-prizer in the active.
Yeah, and I guess this list doesn't have Vitality Band, so they can't even knock out the your Dipplin with Soul Rock. And I guess like this build specifically, Legacy, like they can't even get turn 1 Soul Rock most of the game when they go second.
Yeah, they're like they're not playing any copies of Arven. They can't like search the one of Air Balloon. Like if they go second, like they're not ever finding like turn 1 Soul Rock. So I'm probably always getting the first KO regardless, unlike like the regular Dango lists with Secret Box or Prime Catcher.
Yeah, so yeah, this does seem like an easier match. That's funny that Christian's been practicing that deck. Yeah, any of these matchups, anything like interesting happen, or do you feel like it was just like pretty simple? Like I see a lot of dark decks on here, a couple Crustals, which I'd love to see. So
yeah, the Crystal guy was the same guy from Swiss that I paired in Cut, and it's like we had a good laugh about it. I mean, the matchup's so weird. Like there are things that the Crystal player can do, but like the whole point of playing Crystal is to pair EXs, right, and make someone's tournament a little trickier because they've got to use Pokemon that they're not normally attacking with. But it's me, it's one of those where the spiky energy is really the only card that I care about. Because Festival Lead's attacking twice. If they get like double spiky energy on a Crystal, I'm taking 40 per swing, and they're like return KOing my Dipplin just for like trying to attack them. So that was like the only thing I kind of had to be worried about, is like making sure that I was never letting 2 spiky energy get attached to the same Crystal.
that's actually a funny interaction. Just like knocks itself out. And I guess if they put Lux Cape and then they heal with Ice Cube Cone, that could be a little dangerous actually.
Yeah. But when they've got 1 spiky and a luxurious cape, it's like, okay, I have to swing into you twice, and that will KO me. So Picnic Basket helps. Like if they don't find enough jumbo ice creams to heal down fully, you can get away with like if they just heal 80 and you've swung 200 into them, you can like Vitality Band and Picnic Basket and still pick up the KO with the same Dipplin, and it doesn't die to the spiky energy. But yeah, it was definitely like, it's trickier than it seems, but it's still like not great for the Crystal player.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, any single prize deck I think is hard. You know, it's kind of funny. One of my friends, like on my Discord, is like, "Why are they showing Crustle versus Festival Lead on stream?" And then he was like, "Wait, this is top 4." he was like, "So
Yeah,
shocked."
yeah, it's not a match that you'd expect to see put on stream, right? Like it seems very one-sided, but they kind of don't have a choice when it's top 4.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you force them to put the match on stream, which is funny. Yeah, and then obviously your run was ended just one win short of taking home the crowd against Gardevoir. Yeah, I guess, what would you, if I had to ask you, like put it in like matchup percentage terms, like what do you think the matchup is for in favor of Gardevoir maybe?
I think against Gardevoir you're like slightly unfavored. So I'd say like it's a 45-55.
Oh, it's not that bad actually.
But it's not that bad. I think it's they play a lot of 2 prizes that they can just like randomly open. Like if they randomly open the Pheasantipity, the Clefairy, the Mew, the Diancie, like all of those Pokemon are like good trades for Festival Lead, and like small nuances that are like correct in every other matchup kind of get punished by Festival Lead. So like the biggest thing for me is when Gardevoir players will promote their Gardevoir when something gets knocked out, and they'll put 2 energy on it, they'll place the 40 damage, and then they'll retreat and they'll move 30 off with a monkey. Leaving that 10 is actually really important for me because it keeps them in range of like a full bench max belt like boss KO. And that's something that like Ted avoided doing in finals because I was able to do against him in Swiss, where like I can just like KO that Gardevoir if you leave the 10 on it like you normally do, because it's not safe. And yeah, it's one of those where normally the 10 doesn't matter, but against Festival Lead it really does.
It sounds like you should have like thrown your Swiss round versus him just so you didn't give up any of the secrets.
Yeah, it definitely came back to bite me that like we played in Swiss, but it is what it is.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, still that's an amazing run. I mean, taking Festival Lead to the finals, I think everyone was super hyped to see it. I mean, I was hyped to see it, to see Festival Lead go that far. So all right, if I had to ask you, do you think we'll see a Festival Lead in top cut of either Querétaro or Orlando this weekend?
I think it has potential. I think Grimmsnarl and Zoroark are still really good decks, so I don't see why it couldn't.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like if the play rate goes up enough, like someone is bound to hit like a gauntlet of like mostly dark decks, right? So
exactly,
yeah.
If one person can do it, a lot of people can do it.
Yeah. So no, that's awesome. I think you've probably inspired a lot of people here to give the deck a go as we close out this format. But it sounds like you have some belief in the deck going into rotation. So maybe let's hop there. So Dragapult does seem to be the most popular deck post-rotation. Obviously, it's lost a lot of tools, mainly Iono. So yeah, how are you feeling about Festival Lead post-rotation? How does the deck kind of adapt? Where do you think it sits in the meta? Yeah, let's start there.
Yeah, so I think the meta post-rotation looks like big Dragapult, at the top. It has a target on its back. And then like everything else is seeming to be like either a single prize deck or like it's a 2 prize like Kangaskhan, Teal Mask, Ogerpon sort of box.
Slot
deck.
box, I think what people call it.
Yeah, a lot of people are calling it slot box, and like I can get with that. But yeah, the slot box decks are definitely favourable for Festival Lead. I mean, it's the same as playing against like a Raging Bolt or a Golden Go, like pre-rotation. Like you've got the damage mods, you're up trading so favourably. Shaman hasn't rotated, so you've still got bench barrier. Like Wellspring can't do anything against you, so you're kind of like you're really favoured into all of the like Kangaskhan, Teal Mask decks. I think like the Lucario matchup is still fine. Like I played against one of them this weekend, which I wasn't expecting, but like again, you've got damage mods to be able to hit those numbers. There's nothing really that you're scared about. It's just the Dragapult again, where kind of like their damage spread can be a nightmare, especially with Picnic Basket rotating. But I do think like the matchup has gotten better because they don't have Counter Catcher, they don't have Iono. Like all of those heavy disruption pieces that they had that they're able to kind of use, like the moment you take a knockout, they're normally going like, I'm gonna INO you to disrupt the hand, I'm gonna countercatcher a Thwacky, I'll Itchy Pollen, and then you can't use your Boom Boom Groove, you probably can't retreat unless you like drew into another retreat option. Like that's what they're trying to do and why the matchup's so bad currently. But like they can't do that unless they're going like stamp boss, and that's using their A spec and their supporter for turn to pull that off, rather than just like a good supporter for turn and a very useful item card.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm looking at this list here. This is from on Pokeka Books, like the Japanese limit list. Like you said, a lot of these matchups on the bottom seem like very favorable to me. Like you're saying, like the slot box decks, Lucario. I mean, Zoroark seems to still be a deck. So if the Dragon Ball matchup is truly, I think, like getting more manageable, like I don't see why Festival Lead can't be a contender in the meta. I remember the early days of post rotation when I would look at the site and they would post their tier list. I always saw Festival Lead on it, so I'm curious maybe if it's because Dragon Ball got so popular, maybe people just haven't figured it out or put the time in, but do you think the deck, like, does your list change much? Because I think a lot of the cards in the current list, like, they don't rotate. Like, I think some of the supporters rotate, but how does the list change, I guess, maybe heading into post-rotation?
Yeah, so, like, you lose, like, draw supporters, like the rest of the format does, and you lose Picnic Basket and Vitality Band, and I think that's it. Like, it's the INO, the Research, the Picnic, and the Vitality. But we've got other cards in the post-rotation format that let you heal spread damage, so they'll be going into the list. I've been looking at Fennel from the Black and White set. You know, a supporter that no one really has looked at, but that's kind of the trend with Festival Lead, where like you get to heal 40 from everything, and that's pretty good if they're trying to set up multi-prize turns. Works well against Frostlass decks, works well against Dragapult. Like, it's probably the next best thing to Picnic Basket, and it also like can't be stopped by item lock, which is kind of cool and could be utilized even like this weekend.
Yeah.
And then I don't think Maximum Belt is the A spec of choice anymore. Realistically, that card was mainly for the Golden Go and Gardevoir matchups, and with both of them rotating, it's you don't need it anymore. So you're kind of freed up to play a real A spec, and you know the one that I'm kind of immediately drawn to is Secret Box. I mean, it's probably the most powerful A spec in format. Like, searching one of each type of trainer is always going to be good, and when you're like piecing together a combo and able to search it off of Thwacky, like turning one Boom Boom Groove into 4 cards is pretty good. You know, you get the Stadium to be able to attack twice, you get like a damage modifier tool, you can get whatever supporter you need, whether it's a heal, a damage mod, just a draw supporter, and just extend the board with an item card. Like, it fits in pretty well with how the deck wants to play.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. Do you give any consideration to Unfair Stamp? It seems every time I look at a post-rotation deck, they default to Unfair Stamp. But I guess your deck has probably like so much value from the box. I guess maybe it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it's one of those where like disruption isn't too important for Festival Lead because so many decks just can't trade favorably. Like, they need to disrupt you and not the other way around a lot of the time, where it's like you're kind of sat there with your full single prize board, they can only take 1 a turn, and I'm able to do enough damage to KO 2 and sometimes 3 prizes that are on their side. So Unfair Stamp is definitely like a consideration. Like, putting them to 2 immediately after they take 1 prize card is pretty powerful. But you don't necessarily need it to be able to close the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess the one thing a lot of these decks I see playing Stamp is like they have no way to search it. Like, they're just randomly drawing it. Like, you actually can, I guess, the Boom Boom Groove. But I think that's a good point you brought up, and I think this for a lot of decks is like, if you're a prize trading deck like Festival League, like once you get ahead, it's like as long as you execute your strategy, like you actually do not care what your opponent does, right? So it's like they can be like stacking their deck, palming the cards. Like if you just get your knockouts with the the Diplet every turn, you're going to win. So I think cards like
Yeah.
Secret Box definitely help you do that more. So no, that makes a lot of sense to me why you're kind of leaning into the consistency route a little bit more for post rotation. So yeah, I mean, like we were looking at the Champions League this weekend earlier in the episode with Aneil. Like the decks were quite varied actually compared to what I was expecting. But I don't think any of the decks that did that well like looked to be too challenging for Festival Lead. So I'm excited to give it a try.
Yeah, I think the format's definitely like wide open almost. It's like everyone is trying to beat Dragapult, and so Dragapult isn't converting as well as you'd necessarily expect. I mean, I know in the Champions League you're able to swap decks between day 1 and day 2. So a lot of these players might have, played Dragapult to get their day 2 placement and then swap to something else that they think can counter Dragapult. So you kind of have to take it with a pinch of salt. But yeah, all of these decks that are kind of displayed, they all seem pretty straightforward for a Festival Lead deck.
Yeah. So I think it'll be super, super strong. So it sounds like, you got the guide if anyone wants to learn it. I'll make sure that's linked below. So everyone can learn Festival Lead if you're going to Orlando, Querétaro, or you want to just get an early jump on post rotation. So are you going to be at Prague or Utrecht to give the deck a go?
Yeah, I'll be at Prague, I'll be at Utrecht, and I think I'm planning on doing NAIC as well. So like I've still got a few events left in the season, and I'll definitely be giving Festival Lead another run and see whether we can replicate it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like anything besides the finals is going to ruin the aesthetic of your Limitless page. Maybe a 3rd place is okay. We can go 1, 2, 3. But no, that's awesome, man. So is there any other Festival Lead related topics maybe I didn't ask you about you wanted to bring up, or just like let the listeners know about?
I think so. I think we've pretty much covered like every card that was kind of worth talking about. Everything else is pretty straightforward with it.
Nice. Yeah.
I think the only other thing is that how cheap the deck is. Like a lot of Pokemon decks are cheap, but I think like Festival Lead is really cheap. Like
there's up here $13.69. Is that even £10?
It's not. I don't think. I think it's like under.
It's just over like £10.
It's like a lot of these cards were like just in one pre-release kit, right? Like because Thwacky's a pre-release promo. You got the Festival Lead deck in a pre-release in Twilight Masquerade. So like there's a big chunk of these cards that like if you attended like 1 or 2 pre-releases, you probably have like most of the deck already.
Yeah, I mean the most expensive card here is the Thwacky at 76 cents. They have Grass Energy at 70 cents. I don't think that makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely like not 70 cents at all.
Yeah.
I guess the Lily at like $1.24. Yeah. But aside from that, it's like nothing's expensive. This deck is so cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can get like a combo meal at a fast food place, or you can play Festival League. So no, it is actually so great how cheap Pokemon is as a game to just build decks. Yeah, like whenever I talk to people from the other card games, they're like, oh, like I need to pay like $1,000 for my Magic deck, or actually you and I were talking earlier. You play Riftbound. How much does a deck at Riftbound cost? Is it cheap or is it like kind of expensive?
Yeah, it's kind of expensive. Like the good cards are a lot. Like if you're wanting a playset of a card, it's only 3 cards, but like the good ones are like 50 pounds a card. So like what's that? Like $60-$70.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's around the same sort of price point as like Magic and other games. It's nothing like Pokemon. I don't think anything will ever be able to be like Pokemon.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's another card game where it's collector first, player second. Like so skewed towards collector, right? So which is great for us as players. So yeah, like we were kind of like maybe wrapping up with Festival League here. So you're telling me you played a lot of Riftbound. You said the game's quite fun. Have you found your Pokemon skills have kind of carried over to that game, or is it like too different of a game?
I think Pokemon's probably like the least transferable. Unfortunately, like the way Pokemon plays in comparison to every other card game is so different that like the skills that you need are different. Like having counter spells and things like that. It's just not something that anyone in Pokemon, at least for a very long time, since like 2010, have needed, right? Like that's the last time we've had one, and I think it's the only time we've had one.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, yeah, like you're right. Pokemon's such a unique game. Like, I mean, the fact like how much we get to interact with our deck and actually draw cards, compared to all the other games, or even just like the prize card mechanic. So, no, that makes a lot of sense. So, cool. Yeah, is there anything else you wanted to plug? Obviously, everyone go check out the guide, but sponsors, friends, just whatever. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'd like to, shout out 88 Card House and the Lost Zone Kitchen for constantly supporting me, and Dragon Shield as well. Like, the sleeves are really good. I didn't have to change a single sleeve all tournament run. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Nice. All right, where can people find you online?
They can find me on Twitter or X at Emothan, and on Metafy, same handle.
Nice and clean. Cool. So yeah, both of those will be linked in the description below. So Ethan, thanks once again for taking the time to share your festival lead knowledge with the Shift Gear listening base. I think, yeah, one of the coolest decks to make a finals in a long time. So yeah, thanks again for coming on the show. Thanks to everyone for listening. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll be at Querétaro this weekend. Aneil's going to be in Orlando, so feel free to say hi. If you're going to Prague post-association, it sounds like Ethan will be there. I won't be at that one. I'll be at Utrecht. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week.